the whole billboards, kahit saan ka pumunta, may bench. I think they spend about 3 billion a year to ensure and lock in all those very good billboard sites. But you don't see them on TV, you don't hear them on the radio, ganun. So you have to have something that really fits your brand. And it doesn't mean also that you don't have money for advertising, that you cannot grow your brand also. So yun lang.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, this next question I think would be exciting. What's your favorite project or a product that you launched or a campaign that you implemented, and why? And what was the result?
Okay, maybe the most recent one is the one with Piolo, because I think they mentioned earlier that the core of our business is really direct selling. So last October, we went into retail, and that's when we got Piolo. Iba ko na kasi si Piolo. You know, I wasn't really a fan of Piolo Pascual. My gosh, when we had the photo shoot, so si Raymond is action, diba? So, pinagkupan ni Papa Raymond, please take off your shirt. Girl, boy, bakla to, boy, ganon. I know, do you pass by EDSA? Yes. Southbound, you will see a big billboard of Piolo, diba? No shirt. No Photoshop. It was not Photoshop. It was just him. Talaga yung gender question, no questions asked. If you see him, dead na talaga. Tapos anyway, what's interesting about this family, siguro, si Papa P, I think what's the most interesting part, it's something new to me. Because it's retail, I've been in direct selling for like, since 99. So bago yung retailing sa akin. And the game is totally different. Like, one time we had a press conference. Usually for direct selling, if you don't have endorsers coming in, konti lang yung media na dadating, not a lot. When it was Piolo, 200 yata ang dumating. 200. And what's interesting also is the game, the retail industry is totally different from direct sales. You need to do a lot of advertising in retail. In direct selling kasi no eh. Our business is really word of mouth. Alright, so I think that's one of the most exciting. It made that impact. We have received a lot of increase in terms of sales. It's doing good. So I think that's one of the most exciting. Papa P.
Okay, we don't have Papa P for Mr. Manila, but this is something new to us also. It's the first in the country. So what we did was, when we opened our second branch, which is located in Jupiter in Makati, we made a mini online game just to like make people aware that we are opening another branch, but at the same time, not just put it out there. So they kind of, like how Francis was saying with his experience, it's something that you have to solve. So we didn't want to just, give the information. So we had to have the people find out where the branch is. So we had them play the game. So that gave us a really overwhelming response of people who not only wanted to know where the branch is, but also they wanted to play the game. So it's not really easy. Like some took almost a week before they can actually solve the game. It's an online game now, so we had a lot of rave reviews about that. So it's something that's really unique. I mean, who would think of just let's say we're gonna open a branch. What are the things that you think about? I don't think that launching an online mini game is one of the top 5 things that you think about, right? But for us, that's what worked. So that's my favorite for Mr. Manila.
Thank you.
Ako naman, the account where I had the most fun, as in recently, na super nag-enjoy ako, tawa ako ng tawa, I had an amazing time, was for a funeraria. Oh, di ba? St. Peter Memorial Chapel. So, I remember when they got the account, so obviously, kailangan namin mag-site visit, di ba? Kasi di ba? Kasi kailangan, you get to know the brand, you get to know the product, di ba? So, bit ko ang creative team ko, bit ko ang management team ko, so dinala kami sa funeraria sa may Quezon Avenue. So we're with the client, and they were leading us through stairs, which I thought was leading to their office. Kasi every time doon kami meet. So we're walking down. Then pagliko ko dun sa hagdanan, there was a blind spot. Pagliko ko, hala si Lolo, yung kayo. Oh my God, there's a dead person. Gumanda ako. And then sabi ng kliyente, ay, doon pala kami dinala sa basement. Doon pala yung mga sila Lola. Hindi pa sila nilalagay sa ataol. Ganun sila, di ba? Sabi ng client, oh my gosh, masaya mo ba kayo sa mga patay na katawan? Sabi ko, hindi naman, pero sana pinarningan mo ako. Parang prepared ako na hindi ako magulat na doon siya, di ba? You know, it's funny kasi when you think about an account that seems to be morbid, like a funeral account, you think now your ads are gonna be very somber, very serious, hindi kita malimutan. But the truth of the matter is, you can actually have a lot of fun with it. And when we were talking to client, kasi nga, I was telling them that, you know, the thing with St. Peter as a brand, this is not a fast-moving consumer goods brand. Hindi siya tulad ng Colgate, ng toothpaste na makita mo, oh my gosh, ang ganda ng commercial, bibili akong toothpaste ngayon. Hindi naman na St. Peter, oh nakita ko yung St. Peter, bibili ako taon ngayon. Hindi naman siya ganun, di ba?
Translate that in trade.
Oh yeah, okay. In English, St. Peter is not a campaign where, oh my gosh, I saw the ad. I'm gonna buy a coffin right now. That was not after. So we told them that, you know, maybe the key is really to disarm the consumers by talking about something that is very uncomfortable to discuss, like death, and talk about it in a way that's lighthearted, so that we really don't need them to buy the product now. But what we need them is to remember the brand, so that when the inevitability comes that someone in their family passes away, and that's a sad truth, but it happens. I can guarantee you 100%, lahat kayo, you would have in one time or another have a deceased relative that you need to worry about. And that's the truth. You'll remember St. Peter. So we came out with a series of ads na it looks like a makeup ad. I don't know if you've seen it. It just broke last November 1. So it looks like a makeup ad where it's a girl was being made up, nakapikit siya, and then at the end, it says, parang natutulog lang. Boom, St. Peter. And then so, mabibigla ka. And then we also came up with a campaign during Undas, November 1, di ba? So the campaign was very simple. We wanted to tell Filipinos, hey, you know, you should visit your loved ones in the cemetery. So you have to translate for the English-speaking friends here because the copy is in Tagalog. The copy simply went, sila naman ang dalawin mo kung hindi, baka sila ang dumalaw sa iyo. So stuff like that, diba? And it's great to work with clients who embrace how to work like this because it's something that you can notice. So that was my favorite campaign, I think.
It's gonna be a very difficult question for me to answer because it's all my favorites. Siguro I'll give you two favorites, and the reason why they're my two favorites. My first favorite would be my stint in URC as brand manager for Miss Senia Kisoga. Because it was my first experience to actually do a product launch. I launched 2 new brands with 9 SKUs. Do you know what SKU means? I hope you know what SKU means by this time.
Sangguniang Kabataan Universe.
Stock keeping unit. So 9 SKUs, so I have like 9 different sizes or sizes and then 3 variants for each. So it was the experience for me at that time was like stepping up because I was like 21 or 22. In fact, I'm the youngest brand manager for URC at the time. So it was very difficult. I don't have a boss who will be there with me to guide me and hold my hand as I launch the product. But it was a very good learning experience. So my second favorite, this time, it's my most favorite basically because I was already able to apply everything that I have learned over the past 8 years that I've been working. So I was brand manager or senior brand manager then for Splash. I handled extract, papaya, and calamansi soap. So it's a whitening soap, soap, lotion, cleanser, and all those stuff. So it's also a 360-degree campaign. But I think what I loved about it the most it's the fact that I'm almost always in Visayas and Mindanao. And I've learned so many things with how you market your product to the Visayas and Mindanao people. So, parang ganun. It's my most memorable because when I started handling the brand, it's only selling 200,000 pieces a month, one of the SKUs. When I left, because I had to go on a maternity leave, I was already selling 1 million pieces a month. So that's why it's my favorite, because I feel it's the most successful. It's also the company where I was rushed to the hospital 5 times because of stress. But it was all very much worth it. I fly to Mindanao kahit may mga bomb threats or mga safe threats. Pero it's fun. Ang di ko lang napuntahan doon yun nga, the Maguindanao area because they would not allow me to go there baka hindi na ako makabalik ng Manila. But it's really fun and the learning. I would never exchange what I've learned in all those experiences.
Okay, thank you very much. That was wonderful.
Amazing.
Amazing. Okay, a short question before we move on to the last question. Okay, what do you guys think? Are we Filipinos ready to be game changers? Or are we just copycats?
That's a tough question, but honestly, I think Filipino pride. Come on, I mean, it's an old connotation that we do just copy ideas or things from other countries. But I think let's just say that you reinvent something that's already been out there in a different way and you transform it and you make it something better and then you call it your own. So I think in that sense, we are definitely ready to come up with our own brands or own companies. I think slowly in your generation that's being more evident now rather than 10 years ago. And we're more than ready to be, game changers rather than just copycats, especially for you guys. You have so many resources ahead of you. I mean, so many resources that you can use and so many opportunities ahead of you that would just, give you all the tools that you need to come up with your own ideas. And maybe some of you would be corporate CEOs or some of you would be entrepreneurs. But the thing is, whatever you do in life, I think we are more than capable to come up with something that we can really call our own, and that's something that's really Pinoy. So yeah.
Me, I think we're on the verge of really becoming game changers. But one thing is holding us back. Actually, one thing is holding you guys back. And the main thing is one word. It's fear. The thing that only holds us back is whenever we're afraid to fail. We become copycats because we always want to just do something that has been done before because it's a proven track record. We Filipinos, we tend to be very sigurista. But the moment you get rid of that fear of failure, that's when suddenly you take off. And you guys, I'm going to encourage you guys, when you get into your professional life, just go do things, make mistakes, because these are the things that will make you better. When you take risks, sometimes the risk pan off, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you become successful, sometimes you fall flat on your face. But you get up, because this is really where you start to change the game. If you notice, every single major innovator that the world has ever produced, they have done one thing. They have ventured into an area that nobody else wanted to get into. And it's an idea that kung inisip ko nga, like, the brouhaha over Uber right now, di ba? Have you guys ever tried Uber recently? So, di ba right now there's this major problem between the taxi drivers and Uber. I was like thinking, oh my gosh, kung Filipino to, baka ang inisip ng Filipino, I'm not gonna put up an Uber because I'm going to get into trouble with the taxi drivers. But the truth of the matter is, if we want to change the game, want to revolutionize how we do business, then we gotta do things that we're afraid to do. And that's the one, if there's one message I really want to instill on each and every one of you guys present here today, is that you guys have to not surrender to fear. You have to be brave and just do things. And never be afraid to make mistakes, never be afraid to fail. Because it's when you fail That's when great things happen. You know, Steve Jobs, Apple. I'm an Apple fanboy, di ba? And I have iPhones, like I use Macs, di ba? Yeah, and before he became Steve Jobs, he failed many times. He got kicked out of Apple before. He got fired, di ba? Fired out of Apple. But he came back because he wasn't afraid to do things that were different. He wasn't afraid to say that, you know, I think we need a phone that doesn't have buttons. I think we need to remove the floppy disk from the desktop computer. I think a computer can have different colors aside from just being white. And suddenly, computing changed. Even your lives changed. The way all of you guys are using phones right now, some of you are not listening because you're doing selfies and stuff. That is also because of the in the house. So, be brave. Never be afraid to fail. Because that's how you guys are going to be game changers. If you guys are scared, then you're just going to be copycats forever. You're going to be second rate, trying hard, copycats.
We don't know how.
Hindi na alam nila na edad.
That's so old.
So,
Not so old. Millennial pa naman ako, yes.
Makati.
Makati. Objectively speaking, I think we are ready to be a game changer. Why? Because we have a good education system. We have facilities available. We have resources everywhere. Subjectively speaking, I think we're not. Because we still have an attitude of complaining all the time. We are not as resourceful. No offense meant to your generation, but your generation is very self-entitled. So you want things given to you right here, right now. As opposed to our generation, we've worked our butts off. You know why? When I was here 12 years ago, 13 years ago, we have to bring the whole CPU, the monitor, and the keyboard to be able to present our presentation into class. And we have to be early sa library to reserve the LCD projector. If we can't reserve the LCD projector, then hey, OHP ang peg namin. Alam niyo pa ba yung OHP? Okay. Acetate, di ba? Or if not acetate, pag medyo social, level up na contest sa marketing department, opaque projector. So pwede kayo mag-print ng colored copies ng PowerPoint namin. Inabutan namin yun. Pero now, whenever I go here, unfortunately, you don't have the conservatory anymore. But there was a time they went inside the conservatory. Every single student there has his or her own laptop. It's very easy. You don't have to research like us, looking through maalikabok pages of newspapers and books sa library. You just have to click and it's all there. But it doesn't appear, ang bagal na ng internet, I hate Globe, I hate Smart, ganyan. Nung time namin, lahat yun, dial up. So it was very difficult, hence why we are very resourceful. I'm not saying our generation is better, but we managed to be patient. So if you are patient enough to see how you can be successful, like what Francis has said, diba? Apart from just the fear, there also has to be tiyaga. You have to work hard for it. Because being a game changer is already there. It's just all a matter of a change in attitude and how you want to see yourself 2, 3, 4, 10 years from now. And if you can see yourself being a game changer, then yes, you can be one.
I feel so old. Kasi iilan ako, di ba? Every time ko, it was DOS pa. You know DOS? Word star, DOS, and it feels so old. Okay, anyway. So ano ba yung time ngayon? Anyway, okay. Going back to the question about big game changers. To be honest with you, working with companies, it's just about profitability. Sino may negosyo sa inyo? Who has a business? Di ba everybody wants to be profitable? When you want to be profitable, you don't like to take risks too much. Di ba? Like, why? Because you don't want to lose money. That is the reason why it's holding us back to become game changers. I work with Amway, I work with Market America. It's just about cascading programs from the headquarters to local affiliates. That's why I think, honestly, we're not ready to be game changers. We are unfortunately copycats. The good thing is, when we copy something, we enhance it. Diba? I mean, we could start up with that. My only point is, in the real world, people are really afraid to take risks. It's up to you if you want to be a game changer, take the risk and make a difference. Yeah.
Thank you very much. That wraps up our discussion for Okay, thank you very much again for Ms. March. Oh, wait.
Yeah, you know, we gotta do
Yeah, we gotta do a selfie. Wait, who
We
does
gotta
that?
do a selfie because I have to upload it in my
Yes,
TikTok.
okay,
which
can
I
you raise your
downloaded.
hands? Can you raise your hand? I'm gonna post you. I have like 3,000 friends. Ay, Francis, you're not here.
Ano kailangan gawin? Ay,
I have a monopod, it's called my arm.
It's my
Okay,
turn, my turn. We're gonna selfish on Francis. Okay, one here. Raise your hands. 1, 2, 3. This is my largest selfie.
That's how you become a game changer, by being shameless.
And now to have the certificates, tell us how the university Ms. Sanchez.
Thank you.
Mr. Richie Ramos. All the students, please hang on for the prizes. We have the list of winners.